Hi, and welcome to Mrs. Hagenbush's interview room. I'm Mrs. Hagenbush, and today I am so lucky to have with me Isabel Paletta, who is a former wonderful Mountview student who now is currently going into her sophomore year at Worcester Academy. She is here with us to give us a look at how you are able, or how she is able, to apply the 8th grade research paper to her real life experience. So we are fortunate enough to have her here with us today, and hopefully she can give us some insight into what it's like to apply some of these skills after 8th grade. Hi, thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So we have a few questions for you. First of all, how did the 8th grade research project between world history and ELA help you as a student?
Well, first of all, we still have the collaborations between ELA and history classes, so it was nice to see that that carries on into a high school year. Also, the research in general, you still have research projects as you go on into your later years. And what I really enjoyed was that you guys especially had, oh sorry, I gotta remember the word here.
That's okay.
Due dates.
Due
dates. Due dates.
Important word.
Yeah, it's an important word that really allowed me to make sure I was on time and on schedule with everything, as opposed to like the high school where you are thrown into an area where you just have to get it done. And that was really nice to see that you guys were there and able to help me through said project.
So, thinking about that, usually we take about, at the very least, a month to do a research project. How long are you usually given?
Depending on the class, we have anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, and there's less of teacher guidance, so you're just doing it on your own, and it's really hard, especially if you don't know what to look up. So you really need to know your material, and you need to know what to look up, so like books, online references, and we basically use the exact same thing. So.
And how long would you say, I know you just mentioned 3 weeks to write a paper. How long did that paper have to be? Or how long was it?
I believe it could be as long as you wanted. It had to be over 5 pages.
Okay, over 5 pages. Okay. How is this year, your year now, so ending your freshman year, how is your freshman year similar to your 8th grade year, and then how is it different?
Well, it's definitely similar in the elements. You have to read in groups, you have to do group collaborations and projects, but it's a bit different because no one's really there for you, and you're more independent and on your own. You still have research papers and essays and projects to do. They're a bit different sometimes, but all in all, the 8th grade research projects definitely gives you a basis for what you need to do later on in high school.
That's what we like to hear. What would you say were the most important elements that you learned in this project?
Definitely understand your reading your material that you have, because if you write a paper and you're not really sure about your topic and you try to write an essay about it and you don't really know what you're doing, it tumbles into itself and you kind of get in a bit of a turmoil. Also, citations, citing, especially for me, if you don't cite anything, like if you forget to cite something, you get put in front of a disciplinary board, and if they deal with your punishment. So definitely have to learn how to cite, because there's citations in everyday life, and without that, then you're pretty much in trouble.
Right, and so because you're saying that if you don't cite, then they're assuming that you've plagiarized,
yes,
right? And you've taken something that someone else's and passed it off as your
yeah,
own, so you're going to be in trouble for that.
Yeah, plagiarism is a huge thing, especially in later high school and just high school in general. I mean, without that, it's causing trouble.
Okay. And then how often do you think you find yourself doing things like conducting research or using research, using parenthetical citations, making works cited?
All the time. With any project, any class, it's all the time. I can't even fathom to you how much we do it. You grow so accustomed to it that you do it without even realizing it. I mean, for ELA, you have to cite the books. If you want to use any quotations, you have to cite those. You have to do it for any history projects that you're doing, especially history. You have to do it for, biology research papers. It's become such a common thing in my school career that I forget that I have to do it. It's on instinct. So it's really nice that you guys teach kids how to do it early on, because otherwise it would be not good.
So basically, I just want to summarize and see if
Mhm.
this is true.
Yeah.
You're basically saying that all the skills that you have garnered from this research project, you are now able to apply them in high school, and you feel better prepared because of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you guys had not done this research project and I had just gone to high school and done something on my own, I would have done it completely different, and it probably wouldn't have turned out for the best. And it's so nice that you guys give us a structure on what we need to learn on for high school.
Awesome. I just have one last question.
Mhm.
If you don't follow due dates, or you don't pass in your work, or you don't pass in your work cited on time in high school, what is typically the teacher's reaction, or what happens?
Well, usually what happens is you just have one general due date. You know, the project is due on Friday, and you can manage your time how you want. If you don't get the project in on time, they usually don't actually accept any late work, and you get a 0 on your project, which can drastically affect your grade. And you know, even if you're a good student, they're not going to make an exception just for one person. Everyone is equal. And if you don't hand it in on time, you usually get a 0. If you do something wrong, you say, you plagiarize, you go in front of a disciplinary board, and those punishments can range from just like a detention to actually getting kicked out of school. Depends on how severe that is. So that's kind of scared me into making sure I have everything done. What else? Teachers will just talk to you. You'll be aware of what you've done wrong, and it's really important because it carries into so many later jobs on in life and anything that you really try.
Great. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I hope that any of you, whether you know Isabel or not, sort of take to heart this information that she shared with us today, because it really is important that you take the grade 8 research materials and activities and lessons seriously, because as you can tell, it's going to come back and help you, or not, later in your high school career. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.